You think you know the Renaissance, genius, marble, ceilings that reach for God. But you are a child. Your own father just handed you to a stranger for money. Your first job is to crush poison into fine dust with your bare hands. The masterpieces the world will worship forever, you are breathing them in, and no one will ever learn your name. The world remembers this as the Golden Age, light through tall windows, color no one had ever seen before. You are standing inside that legend, and you are small, and you are shaking. No one made you an offer, no one asked. You were delivered. The workshop smells of linseed oil, hot glue, and something sweeter underneath. You do not know yet that the sweet smell is lead. The master barely lifts his eyes. To him, you are not a boy with a future. You are a pair of hands that came cheap. Everything the world will one day call divine begins on this floor, with you on your knees beside a bucket. That sounds like an honor. It is not. It means there is now an account, and you are on the wrong side of it. The door behind you closes. The man who walked you here does not look back. Here is the part no one frames on a wall. You did not run away to art. You were sold to it. Days earlier, your father sat across a table from a man he barely knew. They did not talk about your gift. They talked about terms, food, a bed in the corner, a set of clothes once a year. In return, your hands for the next 10 years, sometimes longer. Some fathers were paid for the boy. Some fathers paid the master to take him. Either way, a price was set, and the price was you. There is a word for what you are now. Garzone. It sounds like apprentice. It means errand boy. The contract is real, signed, binding. You cannot leave. If you run, your family owes. You are 7 or 12, and you have just learned the first cold fact of your life. Love did not bring you here. A debt did. The chain on you is not iron, it is ink. And ink holds just as well. Your first year holds no brushes. You are not allowed near a painting. You sweep. You haul water. You scrape old panels until your fingers split. You boil hide and bone into glue, and the stink stays in your hair for weeks. Mostly, you grind. Lumps of mineral on a stone slab, back and forth, until they become powder fine enough to paint with. A coarse grind ruins the color, so you grind until your shoulders burn, and then you grind more. Hours, days. The same stone, the same motion, the same ache crawling up your arms. No one praises it, no one watches. The master is across the room, making the things that will outlive empires, and you are the silent engine underneath him, turning rock into color. This is the work the word genius is built on top of. The hands that touch the canvas need 100 hands beneath them that never will. Yours are those hands. And the powder you are making so carefully is already starting to kill you. You just have not been told yet. Let the colors arrive. They are beautiful and they are deadly, and no one separates the two. The white that makes a saint's skin glow is lead. You grind it dry, the dust lifts, and you breathe it. The red that burns in a cardinal's robe is made from mercury. You hold it in your bare palm. The yellow that gilds the morning is arsenic, and the men around you joke about its smell, not its bite. You wet the powders. You taste the brush to bring it to a point. You wipe your hands on your shirt and eat your bread with them. Nobody owns a mask. Nobody washes first. The most precious substances in the building pass through your skin and your lungs every single day, and they are all, quietly, poison. You think the danger in a workshop is a drop tool or a bad fall. It is not. The danger is the color itself, going in slow, settling where you cannot reach it. The masterpiece is being assembled out of the same material that is taking you apart. You are paying for the beauty with your body, and the bill has not even come due. Then there are the nights the older boys whisper about. To paint a body that looks alive, someone first has to understand the body that is dead. So the workshop studied the dead, muscle by muscle, joint by joint, skin peeled back so the truth underneath could be copied. The stories say the youngest were sent to fetch what was needed, that some of them held the lamp while the masters cut, and learned the inside of a human being before they were old enough to shave. How true each tale is, no one can prove now. But this much is real. The grace you see in those painted limbs was bought in rooms that smelled of death. The serene angels, the perfect martyrs, their beauty rests on a foundation of opened corpses. You came here for light. Some of that light was traced off the dead by candle. And if the whispers are true, the small hands holding the lamp in the dark were hands like yours. You start to understand the rule of this place. Nothing lovely here was made cleanly. Now the colors send their bill. It starts small enough to ignore. Your stomach knots for no reason. Your gums ache and pull back from your teeth. A grinding pain settles deep in your belly and will not leave. Your hands, the only thing you own that anyone values, begin to shake. The older men have a name for it, said with a shrug, like weather, painter's colic. They all get it. The lead you have been breathing since your first week is inside your bones now, and bones do not let go. There is no cure here, no doctor who would come for a garzone. You simply work through it, color by color, until you cannot. Some men go pale and weak and call it bad luck. Some go blind. Some lose their minds slowly and are turned out to beg. This is the wound that never shows in the paintings. The people who made them, wearing down from the inside, poisoned by their own craft. You wanted to make something that would last forever. It will. You will not. And the cruelest part is that you helped grind the very thing that is killing you, on your knees, in your first week, trying to be useful. There is one mercy, and you cling to it. Sometimes the workshop goes quiet and you are allowed to look. The finished panels lean against the far wall, drying, glowing in the low light. A face so alive it seems to breathe, a blue so deep it stops your chest. And you know, the errand boy, was shaking hands, exactly how that blue was made, because you made the powder for it. For one moment, the ache is worth something. You are part of this. Your ground colors are in that glow. No one says your name, but a piece of you is hanging there in the light, and that almost feels like belonging. Hold on to that feeling. The workshop will take it from you too. The rule has not changed just because the room went quiet. The beauty is real. Your share of it is not. You are allowed to admire what you helped build, the way a brick is allowed to admire the cathedral. And then you are sent back for more water. Years pass, and you get good. Good enough that the master starts to trust you with real work. Not the center. Never the center, but a hand here, a fold of cloth there, the dull green hills behind the holy figures, then more, a whole minor saint, a face in the crowd. You are no longer grinding. You are painting, and you are painting well enough that the master leaves it on the panel and adds nothing. Something dangerous wakes up in you. Pride. You begin to look for your own corners in the great works, the parts that are secretly, truly yours. You start to think the years cost something but bought something too. A name, maybe. A future where people know what your hands can do. You let yourself want it. That want is the setup for the last cruelty this place has saved for you. You should have known better by now. Nothing here was ever going to be yours, but hope is the one poison they do not have to grind. The painting is finished, and it is good, and a great deal of it is you. Your hand shaped that face. Your patience laid that gold. You stand back, and for a second you wait, like a fool, to be named. Then the master steps forward and signs it. His name, alone, in his own hand, in the corner. Guild law is on his side, and the law is simple. Anything that leaves this workshop is his. It does not matter who held the brush. The signature does not mean he painted it. It means it met his standard, and his standard has a price, and his name in the corner is worth 10 times what yours would ever be. The patron pays for the name pays the master. And you, the hand inside the work, are folded back into the word workshop, where no single person can be found. You watch your own painting walk out the door under someone else's name. You are not robbed in the dark. You are erased in broad daylight, by contract, with everyone nodding that this is how it has always been done. So go looking for yourself, centuries from now. Stand in the museum where your work finally hangs. Read the little label on the wall. It carries the master's name, confident and clean. Yours is nowhere. Not on the panel, not in the ledger, not in a single line anyone kept. The scholars will argue for a lifetime over which master's hand made that face, and the answer is that no master did. A boy did. A boy who was sold and poisoned and worked half to death and never once written down. The crowd leans in close to admire the very brushwork you bled for, and they whisper the wrong name, and they will whisper it forever. This is the real theft, the one that outlasts the lead in your bones. They did not just take your work. They took the proof that you existed. You can stand directly in front of the thing your hands made, in the holiest light a museum can buy, and you are not even a ghost in the room. You are less than that. You are the hand's history decided it did not need to remember. Now turn it all over and see what it actually was. You came believing the Renaissance was made by geniuses. It was not. It was made by children. The masters are the names. But the genius, the hours, the grinding, the breathing of poison, the steady hands that did the patient work, that was a small army of nameless boys, and you were one of them. And here's the cold heart of it. You were never the artist of this golden age. You were its raw material, the same as the lead, the same as the mercury, the same as the wood and the gold leaf, something to be used up to make the thing that lasts. They consumed your childhood, your lungs, your eyes, your one short life, and they spread it thin across a panel, and they signed it with another man's name. The beauty did not happen despite all this. The beauty is made of it. Every masterpiece on every wall is standing on top of a buried life like yours. You are not in the picture. You are underneath it. You are what it is built from. And still, this is the part that should hollow you out. The work is magnificent. That is what makes it unbearable. If the paintings were ugly, you could call the whole thing a crime and walk away. But they are not ugly. They are the most beautiful objects human beings have ever made, and they are alive precisely because of what they cost you. The light in them is real light. The skin looks warm because someone studied the cold dead to learn it. The colors blaze because a child ground them past exhaustion and breathed them until his body failed. The glow on those walls is not innocent, it is paid for. Every one of those eternal, perfect surfaces is sitting on a debt that was settled in childhoods and lungs and names that got thrown away. The masterpiece survives. It always survives. That is the whole problem. It survives, and the person who made it does not, and the world has agreed not to notice the difference. Walk any great museum and count what is missing. The walls are full, the labels are short. A handful of names carry the entire age, and the light in every room comes off objects. Those few names mostly did not finish alone. Behind each one stand the boys, the grinders, the gilders, the hands that filled the robes and the hills and the crowds. Thousands of them, almost none remembered. Their lives ran out into the paint, and then the paint outlived them by 500 years and never said thank you. You are about to become one of those vanished hands, and you can feel it coming. Not a tragedy anyone will mark, no grave they will visit. Just a slow subtraction, a boy quietly removed from his own story while his work is hung in gold and adored. The age is called a rebirth. For the people who actually built it, it was the opposite. It used them up and kept the receipts under someone else's signature. So here is the truth the golden age was built to hide. Look one last time at the masterpiece on the wall, the one the whole world travels to see, the one that pulls the deepest awe out of the largest crowd. You stand close. That face, that impossible, living light. Some part of it, maybe all of it, was made by a child who was sold by his own father, who ground poison on his knees until his hands shook, who learned the human body by candlelight off the dead, who painted what you are looking at, and who was then folded into a name that was never his. The signature in the corner is the master's. The hands were a boy's. The world chose long ago to remember the signature and forget the boy. You are that boy. You were a person before you were a tool, and they used you as a tool anyway, and then they kept the beautiful thing and lost the human being inside it. The Renaissance did not just paint its masterpieces. It consumed the people who made them and called the cost a small price for something eternal. Years from now, you will stand before one of those perfect, glowing walls, and your eyes will slide past the famous name without stopping. Somewhere under that surface is a child who was used up to make it, who never got a grave, never got a line, never got remembered. That child is the real story of the Golden Age, and the cruelest mercy of all is this. The painting will be admired for another 500 years, and in all that time, no one looking at it will ever once think of you.